Americans, what do Europeans do that you find really weird? Specifically Germans, Berliners, in this case. When you move, you take the kitchen with you. That is just mind-boggling to me. In the Netherlands, you take the flooring with you. I'd never heard of it when I lived there, but it seems to be a trend for at least rental flats now. Obviously can't do that with tile, but seems to be common for laminate. It just seems so inefficient. It's cut to size for a specific space. In France, people often take the fixtures and fittings, so it's not uncommon to find a twisted wire hanging out of the ceiling instead of a light, curtains and rails gone. I've seen door handles as well. It can get specified in the compromised event, sale terms contract, what will be left if one party wants to. I'm now understanding the people I bought my first house from. The woman in the couple was from France and was just taking everything. Literally taking the mirrors off the walls in the bathrooms, taking the towel racks off the walls, light fixtures. My agent went for a final walkthrough before closing and was like, just fuck right off, all of that conveys with the house. The lady was put out reinstalling things she removed. They were late for closing, fixing the mess they made. They still took stuff that should have conveyed. Be glad you kept the copper pipes and wiring. Smiley face. Depends which countries. I've always found it weird that a lot of them think hugging is more intimate than kissing someone on the cheek. Edit, I know it isn't actually kissing someone on the cheek most of the time. I'm referring to how someone touches your face with their face, that is extremely intimate. I see your point, but for me, French woman, I'd rather lightly touch someone's cheek with mine, rather than press my entire body against someone else for the typical North American hug. I'd rather not touch anybody who is not a close friend actually. Usually for less serious hugs, really only your upper chest and up touches the other person. But also, I only hug my good friends and family. It seems like the cheek touch gets used for even people you don't know well, correct? I'm for Portugal, and over here kisses can be used with people you don't know, but depends on the context. If you're at work and someone greets you and says, "Hi, I'm new here, we're working on the same project," you don't just go ahead and touch cheeks. On the other hand, if you go to a birthday party or something and you meet a friend there who presents you to someone else, then people usually go for the cheek touching. Kind of depends on the person really. And it's mostly with women too. Boy meets girl, kiss. Girl meets girl, kiss. Boy meets boy, handshake. Interesting. It sounds like all the nuance would take a while for a newcomer to learn, huh? Two Germans will go into an office and shut the door as though they're talking about something important. Nope, just soccer. Some people think football is a matter of life and death. I assure you, it's much more serious than that. Bill Shankly. I think Germans in general are very determined to not annoy or disturb their co-workers. My German cousin who loves garlic won't eat it any day other than Friday or Saturday because her co-workers would be offended by garlic breath if they were in a meeting. I lined in Germany 3 years, I loved everything about it, except one thing, personal space doesn't exist in lines. I'd be standing in line at a store and the next person behind me is breathing down my neck. Step back, man. Must have been a long line if you were standing in it for 3 years. Justin.
Ausländerbehörde.
Fuck off, BuzzFeed. Top 7 things Americans of Reddit find weird with Europe. Number 9 will literally blow your head off. Only upvote comments with the most offensive usernames. BuzzFeed, a user named Satan's Sulphurous Sphincter wondered why Europeans bring their dogs into restaurants? User Jizzersize_instructor replied that they might just favor less energetic breeds. I believe I can help in this endeavor. Can I be in the screenshot? I do find it a bit odd that everyone sort of agrees nothing happens in August. Like, for a whole month, you better not need anything done, even doctors seem scarce. Edit, to be clear, August is the vacation month in many places in Europe. While August is a popular time to go away in the US, summer vacations seem more distributed through the school-less months. In Europe, however, it just seems understood no one will work in August, or at least a large part of it. Well, people have to take their 30 days of vacation a year at some point, so might as well all do it when it's nice weather and agree that nothing is getting done. This is surely the reason, and it is often the hottest month in parts of Europe and the time you want to be away from the cities. Make people pay to use public toilets. I'm European and I can't understand that as well. I'd give my 2 cents on the topic, but I had to pee earlier. 2 cents for a toilet? What is this, the 1800s? That's cheap. Visited Europe for the first time and noticed this. Think I paid 0.5 for a bathroom break at a McDonald's. Having said that, those bathrooms were super clean, and I enjoyed the fact the walls connected from the ceiling from the floor, so it really felt comfortable. Here in NA, the bathroom stalls have little gaps in the walls, so it feels like you don't have any privacy. I'm assuming part of the reason why the bathrooms are so clean is due to this charge. Edit, this was in the Netherlands. In some places, like the small I used to work at, it is because drug addicts would meet up in the public toilets to shoot up. I can't remember if this is Ireland specific or a thing in the rest of Europe, but the bathroom light switch being outside of the door. Pray tell, Ireland, just how many times a father or a sibling has flicked the switch on and off or just straight up turned it off while you were doing your business? Irishmen here. All of our switches are in the rooms themselves, such as bedroom lights, but the bathroom and hallway switches are outside the door/on the wall. The logic is that you turn on the light outside, then walk inside. Walking into a dark room and trying to find the switch is something we've all failed at doing, so I guess it makes sense. Honestly, I never really thought about it until reading this comment. 30 years on Earth, I've only ever seen bathroom light switches outside the bathroom door. And no, nobody turns them off. If the door is closed and the light is on, that's a sign someone's in there. Speak for yourself. My dad is so energy conscious he turns the light off literally every time he passes without checking. Every single time. You would think he'd learn to check first, but nope. I am from and work in SEA and work with both Euros and Americans. The Americans adjust to heat and humidity pretty fast and well, the Euros not so much. To be fair, the entire eastern part of the US is fairly humid. Much more so the further south you go. The entire southeast of the US feel like living in a bowl of soup in the summer. And the entire southwest, while very dry, is quite hot. So a lot of Americans are already pretty used to heat and humidity. I'm from Georgia, US state. Our summers will rarely drop below 95% humidity and the temperature is normally somewhere between 90-110 F during that time. Carolina girl here, I feel your pain, LMAO. People may joke about it's the humidity that gets ya, but it's true. Feels like you're trying to breathe through a wet rag sometimes. Leaving babies napping outside, alone, in cold weather. This is specifically aimed at the Scandinavians. I was in Denmark in November and it was a super windy, cold week, ranged from -6 degrees asterisk to -9 degrees Celsius, and this honestly stunned me. I admire that people feel so safe that they can do it. Edit, I know -6C isn't super cold for Scandinavia, but I have low cold tolerance and it was also windy in Copenhagen. I'm from the UK and my grandmother was telling me that it used to be super common for people to leave their babies in prams outside. Doing the housework and baby needs fresh air? Put them outside in their pram. Going into a shop for a couple of things? Pram outside. My mother actually did this with me, doing housework whilst I'd be sleeping outside. I lived in Europe for 2 years. One thing that stands out is people were much more fashion conscious. I view clothes as fabric that I am mandated to wear so that I am not arrested. This is easy in Finland. Just wear black and you are both fashionable and practical. My entire wardrobe is 20 black t-shirts and 2 button-ups. Throw on some jeans and you have a decent outfit. Sweatpants and now you're ready to stay in. It just works with everything. Not weird, but I'm always pretty impressed by their grasp of languages. Here's Ivan straight out of the mean streets of Moscow who speaks better English than I do, and he also speaks Portuguese and Mandarin. In most European countries there is quite high emphasis on learning foreign language at school. I had English class every year, and German classes for like half of the school years. The wild thing is that you can drive from Lisbon, Portugal to Athens, Greece, and past those several countries with a multitude of languages in about 42 hours. You can drive from Los Angeles, California to New York City in 42 hours, and a large majority of people will speak English as their primary, often only, language, and you never leave the US. Was looking for this reply. If all the states in the US spoke different languages, people in the US would be multilingual/polyglots. Sadly, language must be used or lost. Yeah. Been trying to learn Spanish for years now, but I don't have much use for it day to day. Hard to keep motivated. I'm going to Europe on my honeymoon, and it's been crazy to me how other countries just have open borders. I'm taking the ICE from Germany to France and there's no border checks? It's really fascinating to me. When I was in the Navy, in Germany, some of my comrades fell asleep on the train home and woke up in Switzerland. They then got themselves a beer and rode the train back. Flashback to the time the Swiss army accidentally invaded Liechtenstein.